Hello, happy people. I hope you are having an amazing day today. Today, I wanted to do my review of the second novel in the Freeway Warrior series that was published. It's clearly an homage in a post-apocalyptic world set in Texas and so forth. It's called Slaughter Mountain Run, the second book of four in a quartet for you folks, which I've never read before. It's online on a website I'll link you to in case you're interested in checking it out and that sort of a thing, because it's all free, so you don't have to spend the money for it. And also all the things are linked from one section to the next. Now this is a game book, again, like I said before. So basically what you're doing here is you are choosing different areas to go to. You're rolling a d10 to see how successful you are at various things like dodging attacks or leaping from one place to another or attacking. And then trying to dodge with your weapon, with your vehicle, and that sort of thing. This is inspired by Mad Max heavily. I'd say the first one particularly was inspired by Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, or other things like in the post-apocalyptic era. Basically, some terrorists have struck the oils and such. And you are Cal Phoenix, the Freeway Warrior, delivering justice against all these bad guys and cultists and many clansmen, various different clans and such that are trying to come against you and your people, and that sort of a thing. No spoilers, but that's basically the storyline. Your parents are in Southern California. You're visiting your uncle and aunt in 2012 when the bad stuff hit and a lot of nuclear bombs were launched by terrorists against oil fields and that sort of a thing. And so you and your uncle and aunt were visiting an oil derrick that he and his company owned and operated. And because the terrorists it was self-sufficient, it could turn its own oil into gasoline. It had a bunch of food stores and that sort of thing, right? All the parts that it would need and that sort of thing. So you guys stay there for 8 years until the fallout clears. You guys head out. You see that there are you guys because the CB radios are now working. You unite with a small group of survivors, about 12 of you, and then and a few more will join you and such. And then you will find out after living out in the world for about a few months that you guys have hit a drought and so forth as your little town is growing. And then you will, but you guys have plenty of oil and so forth from the oil derricks and so forth. There's a lot operational in your area, and you guys will contact a team, a local group, and so forth, and they have plenty of food. The weather's great there and such, but they don't have any oil at all. So you're going to join them with your oil supplies and that sort of thing. And then the two of you are going to go ahead and flee to El Paso. All right. So basically, the first book is getting to their town, and the second book is getting to El Paso, Slaughter Mountain Run, for you folks. So basically what's going to happen early on in this book is, in the first book, just as a heads up, you are going to be rescuing one of your people that were salvaging a gun supply store in order to get some gun for the convoy that you guys are on. And then while doing that, you will kill the brother of a ruler of a really nasty gang of people called the Detroit Lions. And so that's heavy hitters and such. And so now they're going to attack your convoy en masse and be the primary antagonist for the rest of the game. So that's basically the setup for what's happening. You also rescue, while you're in that small little town near you guys, you rescue his significant other who he captured in his slave, and you set her free too, and she joins you. So that's basically the setup for the early parts. Now again, no spoilers as to what's happening and so forth. But you are going to be heading out, and since it's about 7 days and so forth, that you guys are in this one. It's like the Slaughter Mountain Run and such. It's fun. I like it lots. It has a lot of the same mechanics as the Lone Wolf, which, Drew Denver is clearly much more famous for, and that sort of thing. But it does add things like an ammo pouch that you can put ammo into and store it, or you have a water a canteen that's got fresh and clean water that you have to drink out of. And if you don't, you'll lose experience points, endurance points. And then you got meals that you have to eat too. And if you don't, you lose endurance, and your endurance won't heal from those things by using first aid kits. You got 12 in a medic kits in a medic bag, up to 12 as you can storage, and that sort of a thing. You can start with a number 2, and then those will heal when you use them, 3 hit points each. You roll 2 die 10 at the start. 1 will be your combat skill. I rolled a 9, which is one of the best you can roll, and that gave me a 19 combat skill for close combat. And then you have for your endurance points, you roll an IHOS of 5, which is fine. It's not the worst or best thing. So I had 25 endurance. That will be my total. And then you start off with 5 different skills that you learn from different people. Because you're driving a car, a self-made car with you and Cutter. Cutter was an engineer that worked on a lot of stuff at home or for his job and so forth. And he's going to be one of your major characters. He and you built up the souped-up car and taught you piloting. So that's one of your 5 skills. You start with 3, you can add 4 points to it, to all of them. And then you also have survival that you learn from your uncle to survive out in the wilderness. You got stealth, which also is how dexterous you are. So it'll include things like dodging, in addition to being stealthy too. That's a key thing. In the first book, you definitely want to have driving and stealth at 5. And then so I had, and then shooting long range weapons, and I had a 5 in that start, and then I put a 4 in perception is the last one. Perception is how you can perceive things, and that sort of a thing. So those 5 skills everybody has, right? You're not choosing them like the magnet guy, but you're just choosing them to be leveled up. You have a backpack of 10 items. The more items you add to your backpack, the lower your stealth will get. Also, for every missile weapon you have, like shotguns or rifles or machine pistols or pistols, you'll add 1. Now, I wish that the pistol wouldn't. I understand why a rifle would slow down my stealth, but knives don't. Like I can have a close combat weapon or like a hand axe, but which won't lower it, but a pistol will. So I wish that the pistol didn't. And that sort of a thing. And you can start with one of the 4 guns with an amount of that ammo. The better the gun, the less ammo you'll start with, and also the less you can store in your ammo pouch. I started with a rifle in the first book. I still kept 2, and so forth. And now I have, and then I grabbed the pistol too in the first book. And then I added 4 points. I added 4 to stealth. Stealth for 3. So I tossed in 4 to stealth and just made all stealth in the second book. And now the third book is Omegasm for you folks after you've hit El Paso. And now you're eventually, with you guys are heading to Southern California and see if your parents are there and a lot. Because you'd given up hope, but then you found out a lot of people are still out there that way. And have survived because a lot of bombs didn't hit them. And there's a lot of things to help them survive, like, food and such. And water. That's coming. So there you go. That is my quick synopsis of Slaughter Mountain Run and the stuff around it. So I'm going to be giving this. It's nice. It's a little diverse. It's like a 7.5. A 7.5 out of 10. It's good stuff. I like it a lot. It's very well scripted. It's very fast. I read this one actually in an hour less than the previous one. I've never read the series before. I was inspired by a Magic the Gathering set called 8th or 5th that's just hitting. It's a death race rather than a post-apocalyptic, but you get the same kind of vibe with some of the same experiences, etc. That's inspired. So there you are. So that is again 7.5 out of 10 for you folks. Have you read this? If so, what did you think about it? Your opinion is just as valid as mine, right? So you can check it out and read them and such online. For you folks, you can keep track of your things. There's an action chart you can download and print out, and that sort of thing. Great stuff, love it lots. So let me know your thoughts. Again, please keep it spoiler free in the comments below, because I don't want for folks that might not have heard of it or read of it and such. Right, I want them to be going in with fresh eyes. I don't want to spoil it and that sort of thing. But it is a game book, so you're fighting people. You're moving to different places. You got to keep track of stats. You might die from a number of ways, right? And that sort of thing. It's a choose-your-own adventure book with stuff. Alrighty. So if you like this video, why not hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell icon if you're notified of videos, and that sort of thing. And also just watch my videos, right? Last week, if you like this one or other Joe Dever stuff, I've done a bunch of the Kai stuff. The first 20 Kai books, did them all. I've also done the World of War, the World of Lone Wolf, the Greyhawk stuff. I've done all the recently printed things in that world, like the Hunter's Trilogy and the first 3 books in the Wildland, by Martin Charbonneau. And then I also have done things like other game books, like by other people too. And so if you like this, you're definitely going to like that too. So just check us out and read them. Love it lots. And then also, if you like this, as a reminder, I try to do 3 reviews of these older things, like in fantasy, science fiction, and horror, each week on Sunday and on Tuesday and on Thursday. So if you like this, you're definitely going to check this out. In my older genres that I carry, like this one, that's a few decades ago, in science fiction, fantasy, and horror for you folks too. All right, and there you are. I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spend this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.